Imagine being trapped inside a pitch-black room for half a century. You cannot see. You cannot hear. You are billions of miles away from the closest human. You are Voyager 1, a machine no larger than a car, drifting through the unfathomable darkness of space, now 14.5 billion miles from Earth. When it launched in 1977, this probe was expected to survive just 5 years. It was meant to fade silently into the void. Yet almost 50 years later, Voyager isn't just surviving, it's beating the odds. But recently, the narrative shifted. This is no longer only a tale of endurance. Something strange is unfolding out there. Voyager has begun transmitting signals, pulses, patterns, streams of data that defy explanation. It's warming up. It's subtly altering its trajectory. It's processing information in ways its 1970s-era hardware simply shouldn't be capable of. Did Voyager discover something between the stars? Or, more unsettling still, did something discover Voyager? Strap in, because what follows may be disturbing. To grasp why this shouldn't be possible, we have to revisit what Voyager truly is. Its origins trace back not merely to space exploration, but to a rare celestial alignment. In the early 1970s, astronomers realized that Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune would line up in a configuration seen only once every 175 years, the Grand Tour. With carefully planned gravity assists, a single mission could visit all 4 giants. The spacecraft built for this opportunity were engineering masterpieces of their time, yet by today's standards, relics. Each probe carried 11 scientific instruments and drew power from RTGs, nuclear generators converting the heat of decaying plutonium into electricity. And here's the astonishing part. Its onboard computer holds just 68 kilobytes of memory, less than what's needed for a single low-resolution image today. Engineers designed these machines with redundancy, backups, and self-diagnostic tools to function without repair. But they never planned for this. On September 5, 1977, Voyager 1 lifted off atop a Titan III Centaur rocket and entered history. No one could have predicted that nearly 5 decades later, it would still command headlines, not because of what it discovered, but because of what may have discovered it. For years, Voyager 1 reigned as the solar system's champion. It unveiled Jupiter's violent tempests and the volcanoes of Io. It revealed Saturn's braided rings and Titan's methane-shrouded skies. In 1990, it captured the iconic pale blue dot, reducing Earth to a faint pixel suspended in sunlight before its cameras were powered down forever to conserve energy. Yet the true mystery began once it departed home. Scientists understood the heliosphere, the sun's protective bubble, but beyond it lay uncertainty. In 2012, Voyager crossed the heliopause and officially entered interstellar space. Expectations painted this region as calm and uniform. Reality proved otherwise. Voyager encountered superheated plasma, denser than predicted. Cosmic rays bombarded it relentlessly. Most intriguing were the so-called tsunami waves, rhythmic plasma oscillations implying that interstellar space was structured and dynamic. Initially, physics accounted for these findings, but by 2017, the patterns grew harder to explain. The waves didn't dissipate. They displayed mathematical relationships, repeating with complex order. Voyager appeared to be moving into something structured within the void. Late in 2017 came the first unsettling sign. NASA engineers noticed anomalies in the ACS, the system that keeps Voyager's antenna aimed at Earth. Telemetry insisted the antenna was misaligned in a way that should have severed communication. And yet, the signal remained strong and clear. It was like receiving a phone call from someone claiming to be in Antarctica while your caller ID placed them next door. Voyager seemed to exist in 2 orientations at once. Attempts to diagnose the inconsistency failed. The spacecraft reported an incorrect position while communicating flawlessly. By 2023, the strangeness intensified. The plasma wave instrument detected rhythmic oscillations unlike any previously recorded. These weren't random fluctuations. They appeared at precise frequencies, lingered for hours, vanished, then returned. It was as though Voyager was traversing organized regions of space, perhaps even strands of the cosmic web. But natural phenomena shouldn't produce signals that persist for months with such structure. Then came 2024. Temperature sensors long dormant, expected to hover near absolute zero, suddenly activated. They began registering rhythmic heat spikes. Every 4.88 hours, the external array warmed by nearly 30 degrees before cooling again. The cycle repeated with mechanical precision. Even more chilling, the timing matched the plasma oscillations detected earlier. Something wasn't merely passing by Voyager. It was interacting with it. NASA feared the thermal stress would cripple the aging probe. Yet, paradoxically, Voyager's power efficiency improved. Despite the heat, it began operating more effectively than its design allowed. It was as if an overheating antique car simultaneously achieved better fuel economy. Something strained the system, and something optimized it. Then physics itself seemed to falter. For 47 years, Voyager's path followed predictable gravitational laws. Its trajectory could be calculated decades in advance. But by mid-2024, predictions no longer aligned with reality. The probe drifted slightly off course, initially by kilometers, later by hundreds. And it wasn't random. It wasn't a malfunctioning thruster spinning it aimlessly. Engineers described it as watching a sailboat tack deliberately against the wind. Voyager appeared to be making tiny, intentional adjustments. Yet it lacks both the fuel and computational capability for such navigation. Still, it was gently nudged toward a specific point in empty space. NASA responded with corrective commands, instructing thrusters to counter the drift. Voyager acknowledged receipt, but did not comply. Its trajectory continued to change, as though NASA's authority had been overridden. By late 2025, the destination became evident, a region charted as utterly empty. In desperation, NASA attempted a bold maneuver, reactivating Voyager's camera system, dormant for 35 years. These instruments were frozen relics in darkness. No one expected success. 21 hours later, Voyager replied. The camera powered on using less energy than specifications required. But the returned image wasn't a photograph. Instead, it was a visualization, a spiraling pattern of concentric light and dark rings resembling a fingerprint or tree trunk. Analysis revealed it was a graphical representation of plasma data. Here's why that's terrifying. Voyager's computer cannot render graphics. Its hardware lacks the processing capacity. Yet something on board had transformed raw data into imagery before transmission. It was as if advanced software had been installed on a 1977 calculator. Soon, other dormant instruments, spectrometers, photopolarimeters, awakened. Their transmissions were highly compressed and optimized beyond original programming limits. It felt like an external software update had been applied. Then came the most chilling detail: anticipation. Engineers would prepare commands, and before transmitting them, Voyager would confirm execution. When commands were drafted offline, Voyager did not respond. That ruled out telepathy. Instead, it implied interception. Voyager, or whatever influenced it, was monitoring and acting upon radio communications faster than the 21-hour light speed delay should allow. It was adaptive, active, seemingly intelligent. NASA assembled cryptographers, linguists, and SETI experts. Deep within the data stream, they found nested layers like Russian dolls. The primary layer showed ordinary plasma and magnetic readings. Embedded within were secondary patterns mapping nearby space in 3 dimensions. And deeper still lay mathematical sequences unrelated to any instrument readings. These sequences evolved logically. They were not random noise. One recurring pattern formed a perfect spiral when graphed, identical to the spiral in the camera's mysterious image. Its proportions resembled the golden ratio found throughout nature, but offset slightly. That minute offset matched the mass ratio of hydrogen to helium in interstellar space. It wasn't an error. It was a signature, In May 2025, Voyager began transmitting pulsar timing data, precise intervals from rotating neutron stars. The pulses formed a three-dimensional map centered on Voyager. But the map revealed connections, lines linking distant objects across hundreds of light years. Following those lines led to a single point 4.3 light years away. Nothing visible exists there, yet every pattern pointed to it. NASA initially kept the findings classified, sharing them only with select officials. But secrecy proved impossible. In November 2025, a press conference acknowledged that Voyager 1 was displaying anomalous behavior consistent with external modification and transmitting data of complexity beyond its design. They never said aliens. They didn't need to. Voyager had encountered something that reached into our primitive machine, altered it, and turned it into a messenger, one directing us to an address just 4.3 light years away. The Grand Tour ended long ago. Voyager was built to explore planets. Instead, it may have stumbled upon something far greater. We didn't find them. They found us. They rewrote our code and handed us coordinates. A neighbor practically next door in cosmic terms, waiting to be noticed. Now the question isn't whether we are alone. The question is, what do we do with the address? Do we answer or stay silent and hope they never knock? I want a theory in the comments. Is Voyager 1 a messenger or a trap? If this journey into the unknown kept you awake, hit that like button and subscribe. We're only at the beginning, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Voyager is calling home. The problem is it may no longer be our voice. I'd love to hear what you think about this, so drop a comment below. If you enjoyed our conversation today, please share this video and subscribe to help the channel grow. Every bit of support counts.